First off, Ozzy Osbourne versus a bat. On January 20th, 1982, less than a year after he had bitten the head off of a dove, see Rock and Roll in Excess Part 2 for that tale, Ozzy Osbourne was in Des Moines, Iowa at Veterans Memorial Auditorium. While performing, a fan threw a live bat onto the stage. Ozzy thought the bat to be a rubber toy and bit its head off as a theatrical and outrageous gesture. It was only then he realized the bat was real. As he recalled later on the David Letterman show, "I get a lot of weird people at my concerts. It's rock and roll. Somebody threw a bat on stage and I thought it was one of these toy bats, so I picked it up, bite the thing's head off, and suddenly everybody is freaking out. I can assure you the rabies shots I went through afterward aren't fun." He was rushed to the Broadlands Medical Center after the concert, where he began a 3-week program of rabies shots while still touring. Every night for the rest of the tour, he said, I had to find a doctor and get more rabies shots. One in each arse cheek, one in each thigh, one in each arm. Every one hurt like a bastard. As a result of the incident, the directors at Veterans Memorial Auditorium amended concert rules to prohibit concert performers from using, presenting, or in any way making live animals a part of the program without consent of management. The 17-year-old who threw the bat was named Mark Neal. A friend described the incident. "We were telling everybody before the concert that we were bringing a bat, hell or high water, and we were going to get it in and throw the bat on stage." Mark Neal himself added, "We got right down in front of Rudy Sarzo, the bass player. I tossed it up on stage, and it landed in front of him. He kind of looked at it a couple of times and motioned Ozzy over." Neal insists the bat was 2 weeks dead, semi-rotted, and had been thawed out. If the bat was alive, he said, it surely wouldn't have just laid there on the stage. The next day, everybody's asking about the live bat at the concert. I assure you, we didn't harm any animals. It was definitely dead when we brought it. Ozzy later added, "The taste of bats is very salty. It tastes of salt." He then stated, "I got rabies shots for biting the head off of a bat, but that's okay. The bat had to get Ozzy shots." Next up, the Great White Fire. Great White was an LA band that formed in 1977. A decade later, they would strike platinum with their third album, Once Bitten. The follow-up to that LP came 2 years later. Titled Twice Shy, it would yield their biggest hit, Once Bitten, Twice Shy, and the album would go double platinum and earn the band a Grammy nomination. Great White would continue to tour and release records until their initial disbandment in 2001. In 2002, two founding members, Jack Russell and Mark Kendall, would reunite and tour under the name Jack Russell's Great White. On February 20th, 2003, the band played at the Station nightclub in Rhode Island. Pyrotechnics, including fireworks and sparklers, were part of the band's performance. Inside the club, foam soundproofing material was affixed to the walls and ceiling around the stage. The foam was installed to help alleviate area neighbor noise complaints. However, during the performance, the pyrotechnics created a spray of sparks that ignited the makeshift soundproofing. This highly flammable material quickly caught fire and released thick, toxic smoke into the venue. Chaos ensued, and the fire spread rapidly. The dense smoke made it difficult to see and breathe. Many people rushed for the exits, leading to a stampede. The club's layout and overcrowding further hindered evacuation efforts. In the end, 100 people, including guitarist Ty Langley, lost their lives and over 200 others were injured. Some victims died from burns and smoke inhalation, while others succumbed to injuries sustained during the stampede. Well, approximately 115 survivors were badly burned, maimed, and permanently disfigured. An investigation soon followed the tragedy. The club's owner, the band's manager, and the company responsible for the pyrotechnics faced criminal charges and lawsuits. Several individuals were convicted or settled out of court. Great White started a benefit tour for the survivors and victims of the fire. The band played their first full show following the Rhode Island tragedy on July 22nd. They would tour until 2005 to raise funds for the Station Family Fund, which had been set up to help the victims of the tragedy. In 2008, Jack Russell Touring, Inc. agreed to pay $1 million to survivors and victims' relatives of the fire while admitting to no wrongdoing. The settlement was the maximum allowed under the band's insurance plan. Victims had previously received $3.8 million raised by United Way of America. The site of the fire is now a memorial park. In February of 2023, on the 20th anniversary of the event, a memorial mass was held, attended by the families as well as state leaders. If you like this video, subscribe, like, and we'll keep doing more.